Shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today is the end of the video. But before, when we start the video, we say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Got that backwards a little bit. All right. You have been experienced, you have been shown how to add and subtract fractions. You've been shown, you know, when I post a video on there for you to watch, sometimes you don't pay any attention to it. So I'm going to come up here and we're going to do some adding and subtracting fractions. Let's start with 2/3 plus 1/6. Now when I add and subtract fractions, I always like to, I always like to write them vertically because it allows me the space and makes it equal like that's just the way I like it. So, can we add these fractions the way they're currently written?
Yes.
Caitlin? You can.
No.
No, you can't. Good. Why can't I, Caitlin?
Because it's 1/6 and 2/3 and but it's super easy to.
It will be. But we have to have the same denominator in order to add and subtract fractions. And I'm going to tell you right now, adding and subtracting fractions is going to be harder than when we get to multiplying and dividing. So if we can get adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers down, multiplying and dividing is going to be a piece of cake. So we can't add or subtract fractions unless we have a common denominator. Now we found equivalent fractions, and so we should know how to find a common denominator. Now if I'm finding a common denominator, what I do is I think of the multiplication chart, and I take both my denominators. I have 3 and I have 6, and I want to find the first number that shows up in my multiplication chart for 3 and 6. Jaden, if I look at my multiplication chart and go down the 3 or go down the 6, what's the first number that shows up in both? 6. Okay, now I'm doing what we've been doing for weeks, and I got to find what my numerator is. Well, 3 times what equals 6? 2. If I multiply my denominator by 2, I must also multiply my numerator by 2. So 2/3 equals how many sixths? 4. And 1/6 still equals 1/6. 1/6 still equals 1/6. And I can show this 2/3 and 4/6 are equivalent, same value. An assignment that is 3 problems, you get 2 of them right, you're going to get the same grade as somebody that had 6 problems and gets 4 of them right. Okay? Same value. Same value. So we're not changing the problem, we're changing the way the problem's written. All right, so now I have 4/6. Always go back and look at your sign. Because if you subtract when you're supposed to add, your teacher, who's mean, is not going to give you credit for it. So Lily, 4/6 plus 1/6 is? 5/6. Now, I don't know if that's my answer or not, because I got to see if I can simplify that fraction. We did simplifying the last couple days. So I need to ask myself, is there a number other than 1 that will divide evenly into 5 and evenly into 6 both? No, there's not. Just 1. Because 2 doesn't go into 5, 3 doesn't go into 5, 4 doesn't go into either one of them, and 5 doesn't go into 6. So 5/6 then would be my correct answer. That's 1. Second problem, let's do 3/4 minus 1/6. And again, I like to write them down vertically because it gives me the room beside it to actually do my work. Now, Bryn, can we subtract these 2 fractions the way they're currently written? Why not, Bryn?
Because they don't have a common denominator.
They do not have a common denominator. We cannot add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. We can't add or subtract fractions without a common denominator. So I have to think about my row that starts with 4 and my row that starts with 6. And Landry, what would be the least common denominator, or a common denominator for 4 and 6? A common multiple. 12. Good. Okay? There are bigger ones. You could use 24. But the bigger number you use, the more you're going to have to simplify. Now I need to ask myself, Liam, what do I multiply by 4 to get 12? 4 times what is 12? 3. So I need to multiply both my numerator and denominator by 3. So Liam, 3/4 equals how many 12s? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 12ths and 3/4 are equivalent. The same value. They are worth the same. Now, I've got to ask myself, Liam, even though that's not my name, what do I multiply by 6 to get 12? 6 times what equals 12? 2. So I need to multiply both my denominator and numerator by 2. So Liam, what's my new numerator here? 2. Always go back and find your sign so we don't mess up on what we're supposed to be doing. So Ava, what is 9 12ths minus 2 12ths? 7 12ths. 7 12ths. Now I need to ask myself, self, can that be simplified? Well, let's look. I can't use 1. Does 2 go into 7 and 12? 3 go into 7 and 12? 4 go into 7 and 12? 5 go into 7 and 12? 6 go into 7 and 12? 7 go into 7 and 12? No. And I can stop at 7 because that's my biggest number. I can ask myself. All right, and one more. Let's do 9/10. Subtract 1/4. 9/10, subtract 1/4. So now I got to find out a common denominator because I cannot add and subtract fractions if they do not have the same denominator. So Kira, what would be my common denominator?
40.
40 would work. Let's do 40. What's another one that would work? 20 would also work. 20 would also work. But 40 will work. That's completely fine. So Kira, what do I multiply by 10 to get 40? 4. So what's 9 times 4, Kira? 36. Rosita, what do I multiply by 4 to get 40? 10. And Rosita, what's my numerator here?
10.
Good. 1 times 10 is 10. I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to make sure I use the right sign. Not using the right sign is going to catch you a lot of times. So Rosita, what is 36 40ths subtract 10 40ths?
26.
Good, 26 40ths. Now I'm going to tell you, I know this can be simplified because they're both even numbers. If both of them are even, then I can simplify it. Because, William, what divides into every even number?
2.
2 divides into every even number. So, Maxwell, what is 26 divided by 2?
26 divided by 2 is
13. And Jaden, what is 40 divided by 2? 20. Okay, I'm looking at those. Now I don't know if it's simplified or not, but I know 2 can't go into both of them because they're not both even. I know 3 can't go into both of them because 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 is not a multiple of 3. 5 can't because they don't end in 5 or 0. 6, they're not divisible by 2 or 3, but 2 and 3. 7, 8, 9 doesn't go into both of them. 10, so we're good. Okay, so my final answer, and you do not have to phone a friend. My final answer is 13/20. Boom! Shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love you. Do something kind today. Save the bees. Please subscribe. I want to be rich.